drugs are scary as fuck.
Yeah, that's the scariest drug.
People think that I'm like pro drugs because I'm pro marijuana and pro psychedelics, but I'm pro nothing that they get addicted to and nothing that can kill you. You know, there's shit that you should totally avoid.
I totally want to try Adderall though.
Yeah, well, according to Ari, it makes you clean your house.
I want to try it. I've never.
Ari
done
hasn't cleaned his house in forever.
Right.
He got on one Adderall and fucking
half of one Adderall,
one?
and he cleaned his whole entire place from like amazing. Like he found Trapper Keepers from 12 years ago with the Incredible Hulk on it because that from a middle school kid that he kidnapped or something.
Wow. Adderall is supposed to be really powerful shit. Robert Schimmel told me he took it accidentally once.
Ecstasy, have you ever tried that?
Yeah. I'm not really a fan of that.
I've never tried it.
I learned a lot when I did ecstasy. I had a very powerful, positive experience. I learned a lot from it, but I wouldn't do it again. I did not like the way it made my brain feel. The next day, my brain was very dull, and it felt like the way I described it, it felt like a sponge where like most of the water had been wrung out of it. It just wasn't working right.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I couldn't make connections right. I was in a like a Starbucks, and I was reading a magazine the next day. I was reading a boxing magazine. I couldn't read the magazine. I couldn't read it. It was a story I wanted to hear about. I'm always been a boxing fan. I'm reading this matchup, and I couldn't read it. I couldn't put the words together. And I was like, fuck, I can't read. Wow. Okay, whatever I did last night to have this, fucking loving, everybody's cool, let's all be friends, in this beautiful, positive, enlightening experience. The next day, like, you pay for that shit.
You paid for it.
I paid for it. And I was like, okay, I paid once. I'm not paying again. I know there's some shit that doesn't do that. I know that it's a positive. It was a positive experience for me. I realized, like, you realize when you do ecstasy a lot of what is possible if everybody dropped the bullshit. You realize, like, how beautiful life would be if everybody was, like, super friendly and happy to see each other. Like, it would be way more fun and way more enjoyable than it is right now. And you realize that you can do your part to kind of like make it lean in that direction. So I think in that way it was very positive. But I think the elevated levels of brain hormones that you give yourself when you take that stuff, there's a deficit. Like you go up, so then it crashes, and then you don't have any left. And then your brain is just like all shitty and fucked up until it replenishes everything on its own. I don't think that's smart. I don't think you should fuck with that. There's other stuff that doesn't do that. Mushrooms don't do that.
Yeah, I'm scared to take shrooms again. I want to so bad, but the last time I shit for like 6 hours straight on shrooms, and it was the most craziest, uncomfortable, worst, hanging out in the bathroom shitting.
Did you say shit?
Yeah. And sometimes they make you shit because it's like you're eating mushrooms, you're eating poison. So
well,
sometimes
it's not poison, but they do have bacteria on them. Sometimes they do have, a lot of them have fungus on them.
Right.
They have mold.
I've heard of throwing up, but not.
Diarrhea.
A lot of people throw up.
Huh.
Some people
trippy too.
Some people throw up, and that's when it really kicks in, which is really kind of strange.
Dude, you were shitting on tripping.
Tripping. I remember looking at the ground. It was like a checkered pattern. I remember the checkers were going up and down, kind of like Tetris or something like that. Like I saw like my heartbeat in the floor, and it was while I'm shitting my brains out.
The crazy thing about the mushroom experience isn't the visuals. The crazy thing is the feeling that you get, like you kind of get it now, and it's like this fleeting feeling. It's like while you're on the mushrooms, you get it. It all seems to make sense. It all seems to fall into place. It's like there's
familiar.
Familiar, but it's also there's like this enhanced level of understanding. It's like all the bullshit that's going on in your head, all the insecurities, all the false assumptions, all the things that are just like tripping up the way you think. They all get pushed to the side, and the lights all get turned on. That's what my experiences have been on mushrooms.
But no paranoia.
No, mushrooms.
I had it all the time.
Paranoia.
Every 6 times, maybe.
Mushrooms
paranoid and anxiety and fucking bad trips and shitting myself.
Well, I think it's when you try to control it. It's very humbling.
Sometimes I think it's just too strong or too like you said, different molds and stuff. So you're getting reactions from mold.
Yeah, you don't know who the fuck's growing your mushrooms too, right?
Or making your LSD. Some people you hear stories of like crazy LSD makers that don't know what the fuck they're doing, and you're just pretty much fucking your brain up.
Here's a story, Rick, that you think was fascinating. We've talked about this before on the show. The CIA used to do experiments on American civilians in the 1950s against their will. Really? They did a thing called Operation Midnight Climax, where the CIA owned a brothel in San Francisco and in New York. And they got these guys who were going to get laid, and they dosed them up with acid and ran tests on them. That's how the CIA.
Totally true.
Can we make that into a movie?
Fuck it, let's do it, son. We're going to work together.
No, seriously, what research do you
saw
have?
it here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the beginning.
What research do you have?
Ricky Joey Productions.
Really? Is it?
No, it's real. It's true. It's Operation Midnight Climax. It's the Freedom of Information Act. They released these documents.
Dude,
the CIA ran
let's
brothels.
develop that.
Yeah, let's do it. It's
That
real
sounds
shit, man.
crazy.
I know, right? Look, someone needs to do a documentary on acid because people don't realize it. Because it was squashed out, they threw so much water on the fire. We don't, and it all died out so quickly. We all don't realize, people who live today in 2010, what an impact acid had on the culture of the 1960s. I mean, people really were convinced that we're all one. The flower movement of San Francisco, the flower power movement, those people are all on acid.
What about Disney?
Ken
Did he do-
Kesey, I don't know. What about
I
Disney?
heard Disney did that stuff.
Oh, a lot of people have done acid. I'm sure he probably did it. How the fuck do you come up
That
with that crazy
inspired-
mouse
Yeah.
unless you're doing acid? It's possible. Who knows? I mean, he might not have, but I think a lot of people did it because there were so many people doing it, so many people reporting all these positive experiences on it that all these rich, powerful people, anyone in a position that would get in contact with these people that are doing it, these artists, they would want to try it. You know, Ken Kesey and Timothy Leary and all those guys and Terrence McKenna, all those dudes that are, you know, doing acid back then, they all wanted other people to do it.
What's the
mushrooms
difference
and
between
fishing.
acid and mushrooms? What's the difference?
Acid's
Acid's man-made.
LSD, yeah, it's man-made. I mean, it
But what's
does
the trick?
exist.
What's the different
It
trick?
exists actually in some seeds of some plants. A Hawaiian baby woodrose, I think, has it in it, or it has a similar compound in it. And there's another one in morning glory seeds. Morning glory seeds has like a natural form of LSD. You can buy morning glory seeds and you do something to them. There's like directions how to do it online. You make like
pour
a paste
acid
out
on
of it.
it?
No, you like cook them or something, and then you eat them, and you trip your fucking
Really?
balls off. Terrence McKenna said that his first psychedelic experience was morning glory seeds, and then he had all this Aztec imagery, like he was looking at like fucking Mayan temples and shit through the
I
clouds.
heard
and
that
the
with
sky.
a lot of things, like banana peels, licking frogs.
No, but this is real.
But isn't the banana peel thing real
No,
too? or-
no, banana peel's not real. No, frogs are real. There's certain frogs that produce 5-MeO DMT.
Yeah, they sell them on eBay. I remember a long time ago, I was actually going to buy one just to experiment with.
They
and
say
sell
what you
them
have
on
to.
eBay.
Do you know how to do it?
Huh? Yeah, there's a whole website devoted to
Tell
it.
you how to do it?
Yeah, I didn't say that.
What I heard is that you have to like you rub them on glass, and then their excretions are on the glass, and then you dry the excretions in the sun, and then you scrape it off and smoke it. Is that what you guys
Probably
do?
something like that. I didn't actually
you
do
didn't
it.
do- oh, you didn't do it.
No, I
Oh,
was
sorry.
actually. I talked to the breeder, and he was just like, "I'm going to have a new batch soon." And I was going to buy like 3 of them, but then I was like, "What am I doing? I'm so stoned. I'm buying."